and should not be done in opposition to large-scale farming. This also plays an important role to ensure global food supply, and it faces its own challenges, including the adoption of sustainable approaches.
Madam Kalala stated that they need a way forward that has the same novelty of the Green Revolution, but which responds to today's need, saying they cannot use the same tools to respond to a different challenge. Sustainable agriculture and the role of family farming in ensuring food security and stability in the country were the two subjects constructively discussed by agriculture experts, farmers and stakeholders during the day-long interactive session in commemoration of the International Year of Family Farming 2014.
This gathering is a synergy that points to the effectiveness of linking these three. Here, all the projects are represented and we would be working together. NEMA is here, the NGOs are here, the press is here, and farmer organizations are here, DOA is here, and we are working together. What's the problem? Can't we extend this synergy to the field level so that we continue to work together?
Mr. Toure also commended the Food and Agriculture Organization for their unflinching support to the agricultural sector.
Awareness and contribution from panelists and the audience, experience sharing on the best practices. This is today, that's why we are here today, is to make sure that we share the best practices together, to make sure that we mark the International Year of Family Farming 2014, which the United Nations has declared, the 22nd of November 2014 will be the International Year of Food.
Their convergence was designed primarily to increase public awareness of the International Year of Family Farming 2014 for sustainable agriculture by building synergy between projects and programs and also among development partners. Reporting for Grts News, I am Fatou Janimbai.
Mauritania and Mali pledged to combine efforts against terrorists and armed groups bent on destabilizing the two countries bordering the Sahara. And U.S. President Barack Obama caves into pressure and announces plans to implement reforms targeting the National Security Agency. These stories and other when we return.
Chromium Super Savers. The lowest international call rates ever.
Yes, you heard it. Chromium offers you the lowest international tariff ever.
Lower than anywhere else. Chromium Super Saver. Only from Chromium.
Now is the time to call family and friends all over the world at rates you can definitely afford. Chromium brings you the lowest international call rates ever.
Name your country and we got the lowest rates to that destination.
One of the many reasons we say your credit lasts longer with Chromium.
Chromium. We are better together.
Welcome back. Malian President Ibrahim Abubakar Keita and his Mauritanian counterpart Mohamed Ould Abdul Aziz have promised zero tolerance for armed and terrorist groups bent on destabilizing their countries. The two heads of state were speaking during the signing of a joint anti-terrorism and mutual defense accord designed to combat terrorism in Mali and Mauritania. The two presidents, as CFI reports, have also agreed to bolster military cooperation between Nouakchott and Bamako.
The high point of this historic visit by Ibrahim Boubacar Keita to Mauritania. The Malian president and his Mauritanian counterpart, Mohamed Ould Abdelaziz, supervised the signing on Sunday in Nouakchott of a mutual defense accord. The Malian and Mauritanian armies will now use their means and capacities to work together in the fight against terrorism. The heads of both countries want to fight the Islamic jihadi threat. The President of the Islamic Republic of Mauritania, His Excellency Mohamed Ould Abdelaziz, and his Malian counterpart Ibrahim Boubacar Keita have agreed not to tolerate in their territories any armed or terrorist group that could destabilize either country. Mauritania and Mali share a border more than 2,200 kilometers long. The Mauritanian army has deployed troops to prevent jihadi groups still in the north of Mali from infiltrating. When he arrived in Nouakchott on Friday, Ibrahim Boubacar Keita had insisted on the need for Mauritania and Mali to strengthen their military cooperation. We have everything in common. Many things that mean we must move forward together in a world where unity among peoples is much sought after. For their joint anti-terrorist activity to be efficient, both presidents called for stepped-up concentration among all the Sahel-Saharan states. They said that only a collective regional response could effectively deal with the jihadi and drug trafficking groups.
French and African troops are now patrolling the streets of the capital of the Central African Republic as part of an effort codenamed Operation Bangui. Calm has meanwhile returned to parts of the city, but despite those efforts, fighting is still raging in the parts of Bangui, with reports of at least a dozen people killed. We have more in this CFI report.
Of National Police Headquarters in the Central African Republic in Bangui, these soldiers were at full attention, some in uniform but many in civilian dress. Hundreds of soldiers from the regular army have come out of hiding. They'd made themselves scarce when the Seleka rebels entered Bangui. The forced departure of former President Jotodia, replaced by the President of the National Transition Council, has changed things.
The repression is over, the pillaging is finished, the chaos is finished. The Central African people are getting their honor back. Long live the Republic.
Known as Operation Bangui, without gunfire, an intervention team is supposed to spread out and secure the city. For now, the mission involves the French and African forces, the only ones on patrol there. Since the president was forced to step down, calm has returned to several districts. People feel safer with anti-Balaka militias on the scene.
Things are getting back to normal. Markets are opening again. People are venturing out to the markets.
But the fighting continues in the capital, where dozens of dead have been reported and family members of Seleka were attacked on main streets.
On Friday, U.S. President Barack Obama is set to announce reforms he plans to make at the National Security Agency. CNN reports the president is under pressure to make changes at the spying agency that many believe has gone too far.
Over NSA spying, President Obama will unveil how he'll keep his promise to reform government surveillance programs.
We may have to refine this further to give people more confidence, and I'm going to be working very hard on doing that. And we've got to provide more confidence to the international community.
We can find a better balance. End mass surveillance.
The president has suffered months of blowback since Edward Snowden's revelations last summer that the NSA has been collecting personal phone records on every American and spying on world leaders, including allies like Germany's Chancellor Angela Merkel. He's called in experts, tech company leaders, and in the past few days, key members of Congress.
There were many members of Congress there from both the House and the Senate who cover the ideological spectrum, who urged him to throttle back the collection of metadata on a bulk level. I hope he listens.
He's deciding whether to accept recommendations from an independent review commission that include storing personal data outside the government with a private third party, possibly phone companies, and requiring the government get a judge to approve access. A public advocate to represent Americans' privacy rights when those decisions get made, and that spying on foreign leaders get high-level approval.
We have many countries with common interests, so having a more thorough process to really look through that and don't do it just because there's an opportunity to do it.
Balancing security and privacy is a tricky political question, and critics are bound to be unsatisfied.
We can't continue to refer to ourselves as a quote-unquote free country when the United States government is collecting information on virtually every telephone call made in America, getting into people's emails, focusing on the websites that certain people are visiting.
Erin McPike, CNN, Washington.
We'll now take a second break. Stay tuned. Welcome back. And before we take leave of you, a quick